Hello again my friends, this is a boy and his dog and welcome to the channel where I'm meant to be playing, reviewing and ranking every game on the Evercade, old and new. I really need to update this intro. In today's episode of Everthoughts, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, ain't it? This is my third attempt at this video. My original video was about the Giga carts, then I had to update it with the leaks and rumours section, then I had to scrap it all and start again, including this new video Evercade has dropped because it makes a lot of what I was prattling on about bloody redundant. So we're now talking about R. It's a pirate themed console, yeah? If not, why not? So from the top again, for the third time, in today's episode we are talking about Giga carts, Raiders of Tombs and pirates. I'm glad I didn't post that first video. How premature would I have been? And no one likes that, least of all me. I think we better get stuck in. First, let's get Pirate Console reveal out the way and take a look at the new trailer, and then we'll have an hour after. Okay, so I have to giggle a bit. People were worried a new more expensive version of the EXP and VS were coming out, when in fact it's the opposite. A nice cheaper way for new people to join in, or if you had the VS but not the EXP or vice versa, now's the chance to fill that hole, isn't it? Now it's worth noting the EXP no longer can be attached to the TV and doesn't have the Capcom games bundled. It will come with a Giga cart instead, which we'll get to in a minute. So when deciding on an EXP, if you haven't got one yet, maybe keep that in mind. Now I like the new look, I won't lie, it's a great entry point for newcomers, which we have to remember is entirely the point. But I won't lie, slightly gutted we can't connect to a TV because of the Namco carts, you know what I'm saying? But it makes sense for the cheaper price. Still no Tato edition though, sad face. And there are no pirates to be seen anywhere either, which is the main issue, isn't it? Am I right? Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. It's like the slim PlayStations, isn't it? They find cheaper ways to produce these things, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Probably. There's cheaper versions down the line. I can't really see an issue in this. Love the button colours. I'm tempted by the EXP. I've got two VS's there, so there's no reason for me to buy this. And they won't have a special edition bundle of fun stock. They won't. Please say they won't. Anyway, now that leads us on to the next subject, which is the new Giga carts. Let's take a butcher's post on the official Evercade website. Right, let me get my specs on. Bear with. Right, it's book at bedtime. Are you ready? Here at Evercade, we've always had to strike a balance between bringing great games to you on physical cartridges and ensuring they represent great value to you. As we head into the future and the scope of what our fans want to play becomes more recent, we've adapted to provide this the best way we can. Giga carts is a new type of cartridge we are making that is designed specifically for larger, more modern retro games, mostly originally released on CD. This new cartridge type will be identical in size and shape to existing carts, but will internally have a larger capacity to bring you these more demanding titles. We've always been honest with our community, and they've always been honest with us. For us to produce a larger cart would mean a higher development and release cost, and the Evercade community has always been open to this if the reasoning behind it was so that they can get more from the collection and in the quality of the games provided. We believe we found the right balance with Giga Kart. Giga Kart Evercade cartridges will have an RRP of £22.49, $24.99 and €24.99. This means having more of these games in one cart will have a better value for you than breaking a game list down over multiple cartridges.
This change does not affect the current cost of other Evercade cartridges, and they remain at their $17.99, $19.99 and $19.99 RRP. Giga carts will work on all Evercade and Super Pocket devices. You can identify a Giga cart by a new logo on the front of the box as seen below. We have 2 Giga carts released in 2024 and look forward to sharing with you the fantastic games that will be coming on these new Giga carts collections. So at first I thought, when they said more recent retro and mostly CD based, I thought, oh, are we getting more modern retro? Like, we'll be kind of on the money, looking ahead but thinking a new device, when really it was just the cart that's updating, but still will work on all previous devices. Like, are we even talking like PS2 era now, as we've already talked about N64? But I guess it could mean that down the road, but for now it seems it's more likely means more of the bigger titles like PS1 games on one cart instead of spread across many, with less games on each. For instance, with Giga carts, could we have probably had all 6 Duke games on one cart instead of display over 2? I don't know. This is cool. If they have a license for a series in the future like Duke, wonder when or what that could be. We'll get back to that in a minute. So Giga carts, bloody love them, and the price ain't bad, is it? We have to wait and see how many games per cart. Now, the thing is, they said mostly CD. I fucking adore early, badly voice acted and scripted video games with FMV cutscenes, especially live action. You know, like some people adore early B movies. I love video game B movies, and I know I'm not the only one of us who digs the jankiness of some of these games. It's why we adore the original Resident Evil with its dodgy tank controls, and Barry Burton will forever be a legend, am I right? But Jill sandwiches and Chris's blood aside, I do hope we get some dodgy FMV based retro games at some point. I'm also thinking Amiga ZT32 in the future, maybe. Pretty please. Also, imagine how many 8-bit and 16-bit games they could cram on a Giga cart. I don't think they're going to do that. It sounds like it's just for bigger titles, but how tasty would that be? Okay, it's on to the leaks now. Dearest Amazon, you absolute numpties, I would have much preferred a reveal trailer and been surprised. It would have been a cool surprise, but here we are. It's Tomb Raider Collection 1, and notice 1, does that mean we are going to get a follow-up with the dodgier ones too? Nice. Anyway, obviously these have been released recently but digitally, and I held off, though they were remasters, and I'd assume these are just the original versions in all their glory. Now, getting more 3D and CD based games, could that still hint to analog controllers down the road? We have hardware later in the year. I'm not as sure now due to the R revelation. And no pirates. I'll get over that one day. Because if there is an analog controller, what are the EXP? We are getting an R. I stopped saying R. They ain't going to be throwing an EXP-A down the road, are they? Anal. Do we still need to hold off for a bit longer to find out? I joke. Or do I? I'm not sure anymore. The second cart is, I think it's pronounced Falmus Collection 1, which includes the games, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this either, Amalite, Competition Edition, Creatures, Creatures 2, Hawkeye, Heatseeker, Hunter's Moon Remastered, Nobby the Aardvark, Retrograde Stare, Summer Camp and Winter Camp. Now, is this Creatures that series from the C64 etc. with the little guys and the traps? If so, I remember vaguely enjoying them. Can't say I know the others though, which is always groovy. Nobby the Aardvark is activated in some old hazy memory though, but I could not tell you where it's come from. And a final thought on where we seem to be going with the game types. I love retro games, but we've had so many retro collections and mini consoles hanging around for 8-bit and 16-bit eras, when 32 and 64 are right there, so it's nice we are now getting more recent retro games, to coin a phrase they used. Don't get me wrong, I still love 8-bit and 16-bit, but it's nice. What came after is getting recognised more now as well, and the added indie games are always fun, and having everything on one system is so handy for me. My PS5 simply has no room to download retro or indie games, because the colossal space Final Fantasy games fill up, alright? There is never any room at the inn, so Tomb Raider was never going to happen there, so this is a grand solution for me. Now, I think that's all that's in my mind for today, but what are your thoughts on anything we talked about in this video? Do you think Giga carts are a good idea? Do you think the price is fair? Do you think this cements the idea that an analog controller is right around the corner still? Maybe. What are your thoughts on the Tomb Raider collection? Are you ready to get used to those tank controls again? I'm ready to accept the challenge. And what are your thoughts on the new EXP and VS not being pirate themed? Do you like their look? Do you think it's a good idea for new adapters? Will you be a new adapter to any of them or collect them because you like the look? As always, let me know your thoughts on any of the subjects chatted about today. I always love to hear them. And if you've made it here to the end of the episode, thanks ever so much for joining me. Leave a thumbs up or comment if you'd like. Wink wink nudge nudge. Either way, I'm just chuffed your picture read in for a goosey gander. As always, I hope you're having an awesome day, my friends. And until next time, be seeing you.